Hello, I'm Matt Bertasso, and this is a wrap up of the last month of looking at learner engagement. And I want to do that by going old school with technology. And that comma there is really important because it is the learning that's going old school by adding technology to it. See, the School of Athens by Raphael is a depiction of learning, and learning is the great equalizer. We all do it in our own personal way. And this fresco is an inspiration of learning. See, 2,300 years ago, when Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates were inspiring learners, there were a ton of questions. Remember, we didn't really know anything about science, the universe, mathematics, and so forth. And those questions led to some of the greatest discoveries in history. Now, eventually, we would create an education system that would require students to memorize and recall the details of past discoveries. So students had limited access to information and relied solely on the instructor to provide the path for understanding these discoveries. Now, what if we combine the inquiry of the past with modern technology? This model would create an environment of learning emulating the School of Athens, one initiated by inquiry and personalized through the information accessing technology. Inquiry, or questions, is what initiates learning. But what is an effective question that leads to deeper learning? First, it has to be open-ended. This is just fancy talk for saying a question has no specific answer. The second is that the question begs to be answered. It must be relevant, meaningful, and authentic enough to capture the learner's attention. Let's look at an example. A question that's been asked a billion, perhaps hundreds of billions of times. What's for dinner? If you are the one that has to answer this question, there are tons of parameters that go into it. On its own, this question requires higher order thinking. But then there's a long list of lower order questions that must be answered before a final solution can be created. And many can be answered or aided by technology. Technology allows a user to complete a task more effectively and more efficiently. In this context, the technology I'm referencing is any connected device with the ability for online information retrieval. This technology allows the user to engage in their own learning. Finding recipes, how-to videos, tips and tricks, entree ideas, and ingredient substitution can all be accessed via this technology. Then, based on the parameters of the dinner, like what is in the pantry, is there a budget? Are there food restrictions? How much time? Who is eating it? How many are eating? What is the weather like? These smaller questions and parameters will drive the discovery to answer the question, what's for dinner? Benjamin Bloom always wanted group learning to be as effective as one-on-one tutoring. And with technology that gives access to information, combined with effective inquiry, Bloom's vision can be met. If you ask 5 different people a good open-ended question, you will get 5 different answers. Each person can use a different means of technology, sources, and learning strategies to devise a solution. These questions flow through Bloom's taxonomy of thinking as learners discover and inquire. The gap between one-to-one tutoring and group learning shrinks to almost non-existent when the learning can be personalized through effective Socratic-like inquiry, aided by information accessing technology. Be sure to read the full blog post on the Full Sail IDT 520 blog at the URL posted here. Thank you for going old school with me, and I hope that you will take these things into your classroom.